All right, welcome back to another episode of the Soapbox, your patient education station. Today we're talking about some good pre-point and arch strengthening exercises. So if you saw any of my arch tape kind of techniques, again, taping should never be done in isolation. It's always used as just a little bit of feedback to help the body kind of feel what that arch lift should feel like. It's never meant to be relied on. They should always be doing some kind of strengthening, so eventually we can get rid of the tape. Especially for dancers, because you can't fit an orthotic in a pointe shoe, so they need to really learn how to strengthen their foot even before they go on pointe. So these exercises, they are credited to Miss Lisa Howell. You can check out her info on the ballet blog, and she also is the owner and director of Perfect Form Physiotherapy in Australia. She has amazing courses on pre-pointe strengthening, on dancer education and conditioning. So I owe everything that I know to her, so thank you, Lisa. So these are some of the ones that Lisa has shown me. One of the ones is called doming. So when we're just starting to get used to how to strengthen the arch of the foot, this is usually step one, is they need to go home and they practice doming. So what Jada's gonna do is I want her to almost think of her foot like my hand and like she's trying to wipe mud off the bottoms of her toes. And notice that as she practices that, she's gonna try to keep her toes long and strong, okay? We don't want any toe scrunchy. This is why I'm not a huge fan of the traditional physio exercise where they would just scrunch the toes and bring in, like, they would have a towel there and kind of scrunch in the towel. I don't like that one because it's encouraging toe scrunching, which they are not allowed to go on pointe if they're a toe scruncher. So they need to learn how to activate those foot intrinsics, keeping their toes long. And I'm also looking to see, okay, does this transverse arch and the longitudinal arch, do they start to almost puff up? So she's trying to like dome up this part of her foot. And I might even give a little cue of my finger underneath so she can really feel that lift in through the arch. And then I'm gonna say, Jada, try to like almost push down into the mat with long toes. Yeah, and I'm kind of watching, does she have equal push with all toes? I find the big toe kind of take a holiday, so it's really trying to get equal push in through the toes. She might hold that and then relax and try that again. Feel like you're wiping mud off the toes, and she's starting to get a nice little dome in through there, and then relax. So she would go home, practice that about 20 times all the time, so that the next time I saw her in clinic, she has a strong understanding of how to dome the arch. Step 2 is, can she incorporate that doming as she's pointing her foot, which is the ultimate goal, especially when you're in a pointe shoe. So she's gonna straighten the leg, start in neutral, and then I like to use just kind of a little squishy ball here. So she's going to show me a demi-pointe position. So I want her first to give me the maximum range of plantar flexion, stretching out the front of the ankle as much as she can first without, again, any toe gripping. Once she's exhausted this range of motion, she's gonna start to dome, do that doming feeling where she's pushing her toes long into the ball. And again, I'm looking for this little dome part of the arch. And she might even get some foot cramping under there when she's just starting, because this is quite challenging, especially if you're used to gripping. So then she's gonna reverse, she goes back through demi-pointe, and then comes up. Again, she goes to demi-pointe, lengthens through the toes, nice and long. Again, encouraging a little bit more big toe action to get some puffing up of that arch, reverse through demi-pointe, and back. Whereas traditionally what I see, if she does like, just point your foot, Jada, with a toe scrunch. Yeah, a lot of people are pointing their foot and toes will start to scrunch under. We do not want that, because then if you put this shoe in a pointe shoe, she's weight bearing on scrunch toes, and that's not good for anything. So she needs to learn to really point her foot with a strong arch so that that is kind of what she's weight bearing in a pointe shoe. So that would be step 2. Again, about 20 times she's going for that hold, that isometric hold at the end, and then going through demi-pointe. So she's getting used to also mobilizing her maximum range in through the ankle joint first. All right, so along with arch strengthening, what another kind of go-to pre-point exercise is foot control. So to really work kind of little intrinsic muscles in through all the toes. So the first one I usually give, so they would be doing doming at home, but I want her to start doing toe swapping. So she's gonna do big toe down, other toes up, and then swap and swap. And she has really good control with this. She's been working on this, and she might go a little faster. So again, it's trying to get that control in through all those little foot intrinsics. Once she has mastered toe swapping, I like to give what's called piano toes, so that she's gonna try to play the piano leading with the pinky first, and that looks really nice. And now this is the hard one for her, but essentially you would want them to do it both ways, so big toe. Yeah, and that's a little bit trickier, but again, working up to piano toes both ways. And I can't even do both of these, but great for little foot intrinsic control.